My roommate scolded me for being a copycat. As soon as I bought a dress, she immediately bought an identical one. When I bought a bag, she wore an identical one. Since the beginning of the month, she only knew how to use Ctrl+C copy-paste. Clearly, she was the one always imitating me, yet she turned around and accused me of being a copycat. So I decided not to tolerate it anymore. I bought an old-fashioned bizarre bag right away. You like to imitate, don't you? Then go ahead and copy to your heart's content. Not long after school started, Tina wore a very beautiful dress. Our roommate Rachel asked, "Where did you buy this dress? It's so gorgeous." Tina glanced at me, then immediately suggested, "Do you guys like this dress too? Why don't we each buy one as our dorm uniform?" Both Rachel and Lisa agreed. "Great idea, let's do it." I preferred buying affordable, quality items online, so using the link Tina shared in our group chat, I ordered one in size S. Unexpectedly, the day I received the dress, Tina posted it straight to her social circle. She wrote, "Everyone look. In our dorm there's a copycat who imitates everything I do. I just bought this dress during summer break, and this copycat immediately bought an identical one online." The photo showed me wearing the dress. My head spun. Wasn't this supposed to be our dorm uniform? How did I become the copycat? I was so confused I had to confront her. "Tina, what do you mean? Who's imitating you? Clearly, you told everyone in the dorm to buy one as a uniform. Plus, you posted my photo without permission. Do you know you violated my personal portrait rights? I demand you delete it immediately." Tina put on a haughty face. "You think I'd let you be part of our dorm? You're not allowed. You don't belong here. You're such a copycat and still have the nerve to be offended." The other two roommates sided with Tina. It turned out they ganged up to isolate me. "What dorm uniform? We didn't buy it. Only you did. I think you're deliberately imitating Tina. We don't want to buy that dress or become copycats like you." It dawned on me. They'd orchestrated this from the start to make me the famous copycat in class. Now I saw their true faces. Tina had held a grudge since military training when I refused to let her use my sunscreen. I'm germophobic and don't like others using my personal items, so I declined. That day, Tina's neck got sunburned so badly it peeled. She blamed me, claiming she was heatstroked to end her punishment early. But it was because she snacked during drills and got caught. After military training, I realized I'd been isolated. But it didn't matter. I saw through their facade. I brushed it off. "You three schemed against me, didn't you? Just you wait." I gathered evidence to deal with Tina, but she immediately deleted her post. No matter what I wore, Tina copied it, even my WeChat profile picture and status. Yet she still mocked me online as a copycat without naming me, and the whole class knew she meant me. I just wanted to focus on studying, ignoring their childish antics. Until one day, the design I'd stayed up 5 nights to create was stolen by Tina for a department contest. She claimed it as hers, enraging me. I rushed to the academic advisor's office. "Sir, that design is mine." The advisor, writing a report without looking up, said, "I only recognize the first submission. Nuance. Whoever wins brings fame to our class. This isn't the time for personal disputes. I'm busy with 1,000 tasks. Don't bother me over trivial matters." He added, "Tina's design is excellent anyway." During military training, the advisor praised Tina for designing a propaganda board, thinking her skilled. But I saw her outsourcing it on Taobao. If the advisor endorsed her, I'd help her fulfill her role. I told him, "Sir, I was mistaken. That design isn't mine. Mine is still in my iPad." The advisor looked up, pushing his glasses. I said, "It's impossible for someone of your caliber to create that." When I left the office, I glanced at the subsidy list on his desk and saw Tina's name. She always bragged about her well-off family. Was that a facade? An idea struck me. "If you want to play, let's play for keeps." Back at the dorm, Tina taunted, "How's it, copycat? Tattling failed, huh? That design took me 5 sleepless nights. Even if you stole an identical copy, it just proves you're a Ctrl+C master." I secretly recorded her words on my phone, then went to bed. Knowing arguments were a waste of time, I needed a surprising counterattack. The next day, during the department's design evaluation, the advisor's face turned red with embarrassment. Furious, he confronted Tina in class. Tina, what did you design this time? Why did a bright positive message turn into a ditch? Tina was stunned. I checked the design that day. It wasn't like this. She immediately accused me. It must be Selena's sabotage. Didn't she say it was her design? Selena always copies me, so she knows best. Realizing her slip, Tina clamped her mouth shut. I played the recording as evidence. Her voice smugly said, "This is the design I stayed up 5 nights to create. It's mine." I reaffirmed before the class and advisor. "You can testify. I said it wasn't mine that day." The advisor, angrier, turned to Tina. "Now you blame Selena? I entrusted you with an important task, and you made me lose face before the entire department. You're responsible. Write a 5,000-word self-criticism and submit it to me. Forget about your probationary party member review." Tina wanted to profit from my design but ended up with a self-criticism and lost her party chance. Classmates began doubting her. Didn't she always brag about her design skills? Why the mess today? She'd claimed Selena's design, but later insisted it was hers. Contradictions everywhere. All day Tina mocked me online as a copycat, but I saw her as a laughable, pitiable imitator. I considered blocking her feed. Her posts were always trivial, endlessly accusing me of copying while never posting herself. Enraged, Tina clenched her fists so hard she nearly broke her newly manicured nails. "Selena, you dare design against me? I'll make you pay." I smirked. "Besides falsely accusing me, what else can you do? I bet you won't dare again once the class knows you're the real copycat. Wonder what their faces will look like then." Panicked, Tina had worked hard to label me a copycat and couldn't let her scheme collapse. She'd surely keep targeting me, copying me to maintain the facade. As for the design turning into a ditch, it was because the cover and content didn't match. I let Tina see me designing but secretly changed the content, keeping only the cover. When she sneaked my iPad while I slept, saw the familiar cover, assumed the content was identical and submitted it, not knowing the inside was all ditch. On my birthday, my mom couldn't be with me but sent $500,000 for me to spend as I wished. Usually modest, I'd befriended Tina-like people despite my well-off family. I loved sharing affordable, interesting finds with friends. Now the class thought me a copycat except for my deskmate Sophia. Everyone else shunned me. But it didn't matter. This taught me who was worth befriending. On my birthday, I only invited Sophia. Spotting Tina secretly photographing me, an idea struck. I led Sophia to a high-end store, touched a Chanel bag, then left with the Chanel in my dreams. Back at the dorm, the other 2 roommates stared enviously. "Selena, isn't that bag expensive? How can you afford it?" I smiled lightly. "Yes, 12,000 Runman B. Let's see how Tina copies this one." Roommate sighed. "Wow, so beautiful. I've never even touched such an expensive bag." She added excitedly, "I heard the daughter of a famous international designer studies here. Could you be her?" Tina snorted, a mocking glint in her eyes. "A designer's daughter? Look at her country ways. A designer's daughter with such terrible taste." She scoffed. "This bag is so outdated. I wouldn't even want it. And her clothes." She sneered. "She copies me every day. No individuality at all." I smiled, a knowing look in my eyes. "How could someone like you appreciate it?" Lisa and Luia turned to me, ignoring Tina, their expressions annoyed. Furious, Tina slammed a face wash onto the floor. "What's so great? It's obviously fake." Sharon defended me immediately, her voice firm. "How could it be fake? There's a receipt from the official store." Tina curled her lip, her voice dripping with suspicion. "Selena, where did you get so much money? Where did this bag come from?" She leaned in, eyes narrowing. "You know best. It's not from selling something, is it?" I ignored her. If she wanted to copy, let her. Sure enough, the next day, Tina brought an identical, authentic bag. I examined it, raising a brow. Surprised she'd spent big. But how could someone on financial aid afford a 120,000 Runman B bag? Tina posted online triumphantly. "Copycats, learn from me. Buying a bag fakes can't compare to my authentic one." Back at the dorm, Rachel asked me to compare bags. "Selena, where's your bag? Show it." Tina added fuel, smirking.
Her bag is fake.
"Show it if you dare." I calmly smiled. This bag is authentic but not mine. Sharon and Gia were stunned. Not yours. I smirked. Last night my friend got drunk and left it here. I just borrowed it. Tina's face changed, her jaw tightening. Not yours. You dare trick me. I approached her, voice unwavering. Tina, what's your problem? Whether I borrowed the bag or not, what's it to you? Did you see my friend's bag and copy it? Seems to me you're the copycat. Furious, Tina punched the bed, her fists trembling. She'd spent 120,000 RMB on a real bag just to spite me, only to learn mine was borrowed. That night, Tina asked the advisor to leave campus, likely to return the bag. But she didn't know the bag I'd brought was fake. The receipt and tags were homemade. They'd never seen the real thing, so I used a fake to trick her into buying real. Tina rushed to the store to return the bag but was refused and blacklisted. On her way out, she met a man. Desperate, she asked, "Will you buy this bag? It's the one I just bought. How much will you pay?" He replied flatly, "I'll pay up to 30,000 RMB. Tina was shocked. I bought it for 120,000 RMB yesterday, and today it's only worth 30,000. Do you take me for a fool?" The man shrugged. "Don't want to sell? Fine." Seeing her desperation, he smirked. 1,000 RMB. Take it or leave it. I took the bag from him for 1,000, then resold it to a second-hand store for 90,000, profiting 60,000. Tina returned to the dorm, pale and furious, lashing out at chairs and basins. That night I found my face allergic and red. I only react to mango, but I hadn't eaten any. Checking my pillow, I found it covered in dried mango. The roommates exchanged glances. Tina did it. Earlier, she'd seen my mango allergy on the first day of school, when I refused her mango, and confirmed my allergy. Luckily, it was just a mild rash, cured by an antihistamine. To make me a copycat, Tina had gone to great lengths, so I had to retaliate harder. Soon, the school's big sister, Diana, contacted me. "Selena, I love your family's designs. Can you custom make me a ball gown for my boyfriend's birthday next week?" Diana's boyfriend was the wealthy, influential crown prince family's heir, known for his arrogance, but polite to me because he liked bespoke luxury items from my family. I eagerly agreed. "Sure, Diana. I'll tell the designer to start right away." "Delighted," she replied. "Thanks, Selena. My mom praised your fashion sense again. Let's show them." I received an 80,000 RMB order. When I brought the gown to Diana for fitting, I also took it to the dorm. Rachel gasped. "Where did you buy this gorgeous dress?" I answered seriously. "It's custom made. Expensive. Can't buy it online." I lowered my voice. "Let me tell you guys, but don't tell Tina, okay? I'm wearing this to the crown prince's party on Saturday." Tina, eavesdropping, popped out. "Is this the dress you ordered?" She tried to confirm if it was mine. I pretended to hesitate. "No, it's a client's custom order. I have to deliver it. You guys can only look. Don't ruin it. It's very pricey." I touched my nose, emphasizing, "Don't damage it. It's very valuable." I said I'd use the restroom, then left. While I was gone, Tina photographed the dress, scanned the QR code, and befriended the supplier. When I returned, I said, "The client is urgent, I have to deliver it. I'm just the delivery person." Afterward, I received a message. The fish took the bait. On Saturday, as I left for the party with Diana, I couldn't shake the feeling of another car tailing us. A chill ran down my spine, but I kept my focus. Diana, radiant in her custom red gown, stepped into the banquet hall with effortless confidence. But then my breath caught. Tina. She strutted in wearing the exact same dress. My heart pounded, and for a moment there was stunned silence. Then Diana's eyes darkened with fury. Her glare was lethal, her lips curling into a sneer. With swift, furious strides, she closed the distance between them and smack! Her hand connected with Tina's cheek, the sharp sound echoing through the hall. "You cheap imitation!" Diana's voice rang out, laced with venom. "How dare you wear the same dress as me?" Tina barely had time to react before Diana seized her by the arm, dragging her into the restroom. Gasps rippled through the crowd, but no one dared intervene. The next thing I knew, more slaps landed, each one sharper than the last. Tina trembled, her face turning pale. Please, Diana, it's not what you think," she stammered, eyes brimming with fear. Diana's face twisted with rage. "Oh? Then explain yourself," she hissed. Tina's breath hitched as she desperately blurted out. "It's because Selena brought this dress to the dorm. She said she'd wear it to the party, so I thought it was fine." Silence. Then Diana let out a slow, cruel laugh before landing yet another stinging slap. "Selena is my designer," she spat. "You dare disrespect her? That means you're disrespecting me." Tina whimpered, shrinking under her gaze. Diana leaned in, her voice a low, threatening whisper. "Try copying me again, and I'll beat you until even your parents won't recognize you." She tilted her head, eyes scanning Tina from head to toe. Then with a look of pure disgust, she sneered. "Look at your dress. It looks like a cheap knockoff." With a snap of her fingers, one of Diana's people stepped forward, scissors in hand. Before Tina could react, the fabric was shredded, reduced to ribbons in seconds. Tina stood frozen, humiliated, her body trembling as she was forcibly removed from the party. As if that wasn't enough, a video surfaced online within minutes. Tina wearing the same dress, labeled as nothing more than a pathetic copycat. Whispers spread like wildfire. The campus buzzed with the latest gossip. I smirked. Tina isn't as innocent as she pretends to be. She's the real copycat, I remarked, watching the downfall unfold. Even with my clothes, she always questions why they're the same. Diana had struck hard this time. Sure, mass-produced clothes sometimes overlapped. But Tina? She had no right to act as if fashion belonged only to her. And as for me? Despite her online attempts to slander me, no one believed her anymore. Tina became a laughingstock. Her credibility, gone. She stormed back into the dorm that night, disheveled and seething with rage. The door slammed shut behind her, the sound reverberating through the room. "Why, Selena? Why did you set me up?" she screamed, her voice shaking. I met her glare with a calm smile. "What trap?" I asked smoothly. "I told you from the start, it was a client's custom order, not mine. You didn't believe me, and now you've dug your own grave." Tina's chest heaved, her eyes wild with anger. "If you didn't do it on purpose, then how did I end up like this?" she shrieked. "Swear to me. Swear you didn't plan this." I tilted my head, amusement flickering in my eyes. "Big chest, small brain," I murmured, my smirk widening. "The clothes were your own secret order. I didn't force you." Her fists clenched, her nails digging into her palms. "You've been slandering me online, calling me a copycat. Now, you're just reaping what you sowed," I added, my voice dripping with satisfaction. Her face twisted in fury. "Stealing. Framing. Everything has consequences, Tina." She opened her mouth to retort, but I wasn't done. "That day, I brought the dress to the dorm so you'd befriend that M account," I continued. "But it wasn't just any supplier, it was a counterfeit group we created." Tina's breath hitched. "Thanks to you," I smiled. "We exposed the counterfeit ring and wiped them out." Her face paled. "Previously, we couldn't lure them in," I explained, my tone casual. "They were too smart, only accepting cash on delivery. But you? You were desperate. You insisted on a meeting. You walked right into the trap." Tina's entire body trembled, but she still refused to back down. Her eyes burned with raw fury as she screamed, "Selena, you've ruined me. I'll make you pay." Her voice cracked with rage, her breath heavy. "I'll take away what's most important to you," she swore. For a moment I pondered. What was most important to me? But I didn't have time to think because my phone rang. I picked up, my voice deliberately sweet. "Hello, darling. Still up late, missing me?" A deep, warm male voice rumbled on the other end. "Baby, are you back at the dorm? You must be hungry. I ordered Michelin 3-star food for you. It'll be delivered soon. Make sure you get it." I smiled. "Thank you, darling. You're the most important person in my life." As I hung up, I shivered. My acting had been so flawless it even gave me goosebumps. My two roommates, eyes wide with curiosity, immediately turned to me. "Selena, when did you get a boyfriend?" one of them asked, their voices tinged with excitement. His voice, he sounds so handsome. And rich. I smirked. Taking out my phone, I opened a picture of a random model I'd found on the internet. Cleverly, I covered the name before showing it only to them, keeping Tina out of the loop. Their reactions were instant. Wow, one of them gasped. 8-pack abs. Perfect physique. He's so handsome. He's exactly my type, the other sighed dreamily. Then with eyes full of admiration, they turned to me. Selena, you have to hold on to this guy. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the Cinderella of our dorm. I laughed, shaking my head. Who wants to be Cinderella? I want to be the queen of the Cinderella story. Being Cinderella is just a pipe dream. But this very statement irritated Tina. At that moment, a food delivery notification came in. Tina immediately leaped out of bed, rushed out to get the food and declared, "This is mine. You owe me." From then on, whenever anyone sent me food, Tina would grab it and eat it all. I didn't plan to eat it anyway, so I let her clean up the leftovers. Once I went to get water but forgot my phone. When I returned, my phone seemed moved. Its position was slightly off. Had someone snooped through it? A few days later, I noticed Tina no longer called me a copycat. She seemed very busy, glued to her phone all day, even giggling during class and texting friends late at night. Others teased her. "Tina, do you have a boyfriend now?" She smiled brightly. "Yes. My boyfriend treats me very well." Sometimes people sent flowers or food to the dorm. One day, the school launched a donation drive for flood-stricken areas. Rachel asked me, "Selena, how much are you donating? Your boyfriend is rich. He'll probably contribute a lot, right?" I was painting my nails and didn't respond. Tina immediately spoke up. "My boyfriend said he'll give me 100,000 renminbi to donate." The dorm mates curiously asked, "Is your boyfriend as rich as Selena's? You've been hiding it well." Tina suddenly shouted, "Selena's boyfriend is mine. She's just a copycat who stole my boyfriend." The class erupted in gossip. "What's this hot news? When did Selena steal someone's boyfriend?" Some defended me. "Selena isn't like that." "Tina, are you making this up?" Tina quickly presented evidence, screenshots of messages from her boyfriend, claiming I deliberately seduced him. Everyone turned to me asking, "Selena, is this true?" I calmly replied, "First, I didn't steal anyone's boyfriend. Second, I don't have a boyfriend. There's no one to steal. How could you see me dating when all the food my boyfriend sent was eaten by Tina? Don't you remember?" Furious, Tina shouted, "You stole my boyfriend. You even have his WeChat on your phone." I smirked. "How do you know I have his WeChat? Did you secretly take my phone?" Tina was speechless for a moment, then blurted, "You said in the dorm that he's the most important person to you. You even acted cute and coy. He sent you food, so prove it by showing your phone." I shrugged and smiled. "Why should I show you my phone? Who do you think you are? Also, the evidence you provided. Did you use a secondary account to impersonate me and stage the conversation? Plus, how could a gaming teammate become my boyfriend just by acting cute?" Tina raged. "Anyway, Ethan is my boyfriend. Don't you dare dream about him." I packed my books and calmly replied, "Wish you to a lifetime of happiness." That night, the donation event proceeded as Tina claimed. She indeed donated 100,000 renminbi. The advisor praised her highly. "Tina's awareness is so high. She'll definitely become a probationary party member." He even assigned her to manage all donations from 4 classes. Clearly, the advisor's trust in Tina grew. Then he turned to me, asking reproachfully, "Selena, every student donated at least 1,000 renminbi. Why did you only donate 100? Are you trying to drag the class down?" I answered, "My mom already donated, so I don't need to give more. Besides, donations are voluntary, right? Everyone donates according to their ability." Tina sneered, "My boyfriend is rich. I donated 100,000. What about you?" The advisor mocked, "Seems those with poor awareness like you don't need to be probationary party members." I replied, "Sir, deciding who becomes a probationary member isn't your sole right. Wouldn't that be overstepping the dean? Aren't you afraid I'll report you?" The advisor, known for his strictness, stared at me angrily. "Selena, are you threatening me?" Classmates looked at me admiringly, but Tina kept flattering the advisor. "I think Selena doesn't understand anything and lacks collective spirit. Someone like her doesn't deserve to join the party." I couldn't hold back and asked, "Tina, what qualifications do you have to judge me?" You frame and lie about others. Do you deserve it? The advisor lost patience and cut in. Enough. Don't let one bad apple spoil the whole pot. The class needs unity. Stop causing trouble. Clearly, he implied I was the bad apple. But who was the real troublemaker? Soon, Tina received increasingly valuable gifts, from 1,000 yuan shoes to 10,000 yuan bags. Roommates envied her. Your boyfriend treats you so well. Tina preened like a peacock. He even plans to buy me a villa. He said, when I graduate, we'll get married. Classmates asked when we'd meet her boyfriend. Tina glanced at me sarcastically. I dare not. What if the copycat steals my boyfriend again? Wouldn't I become a stepping stone for others? Tina didn't know a disaster was coming fast. The department asked the advisor to submit the donation funds, but then something major happened. The government announced certificates for all students and parents who donated. But Tina disappeared and couldn't be contacted. The advisor called her repeatedly with no answer. When someone found her, they reported to the advisor. Tina plans to jump off the building. Hearing someone wanted to commit suicide, all students rushed to see. Indeed, Tina stood on the rooftop. The advisor urgently persuaded her. Tina, come down first. We can talk things through. Tina wiped her tears and said tearfully, you must promise not to punish me or I won't come down. The advisor, sensing something was wrong, worriedly asked, Tina, what's going on? Tell me. Tina pointed at me, crying, it's Selena and a scammer colluding to trick me. I held the donation funds you entrusted, but they were all stolen. I was lured by him after adding his WeChat. Now, no matter how I explain, no one believes me. I can only die to prove my innocence. The advisor immediately blamed me. Selena, what's going on here? I calmly answered. Tina, even in this situation, you still blame others? Did I force you to take my phone? Did I make you at him? Did I force you to trust him? You made your own mistakes and now play the victim for sympathy. Tina became more agitated. I turned to the advisor and said, Sir, don't you see? Tina is using this to threaten you. If you don't forgive her and she jumps, you'll struggle to keep your job. Surrounding students began gossiping. This is the consequence of loving to show off and learning the wrong things. First time I've seen someone so despicable, learning from others then blaming them, now drama kinging. If it's not illegal, I'd cheer her to jump. Tina was harshly criticized, disgraced. As she prepared to jump, firefighters rushed from behind and pulled her down safely. Just rescued, Tina still wouldn't let go, shouting, Selena, it's all your fault. I'll sue you for fraud. I was also called to clarify. I presented a video from the camera I installed on my bed, showing Tina secretly taking my phone and adding the man's WeChat. I explained, Sir, I didn't know he was a scammer. When he asked for money, I immediately blocked him. I had no idea Tina added him on my phone. Tina raged, Selena, stop pretending. Didn't you brag that he was your boyfriend? I countered, didn't you say I copied you? That I was a copycat trying to steal your boyfriend? I've said long ago, I don't have a boyfriend. It's your imagination. I don't even know who your boyfriend is since you never introduced him to us. After reviewing the video, the advisor sided with me, clarifying that Tina's greed and desire to be Cinderella led her to be scammed. Then, the school required the advisor and Tina to compensate for the 350,000 renminbi lost. If they didn't pay, both would be reported to the police. The advisor had to pay 200,000 renminbi, and Tina 150,000 renminbi. The advisor lost all his savings and was fired. Tina's family sold assets to compensate, and she was expelled. Moreover, it was discovered she embezzled the student union funds. Now I understood how she afforded those expensive Chanel bags. After expulsion, her family forced Tina to marry. Her mother beat and scolded her. Your grandma was right. You're just a good-for-nothing. We worked hard to raise and educate you. Yet you only know to show off. How can you compare to Selena? The two family is a billion-dollar conglomerate. Her mom just donated 10 million renminbi under her child's name and was on TV. Hearing this, Tina collapsed to the ground, pale as death. After Tina's expulsion, the dorm was no longer chaotic. I decided to move out. The two roommates hurriedly flattered me. Selena, are you moving out? We're still good friends, right? I smirked. When Tina framed me as a copycat, didn't you believe her? So quick to forget. Lisa and Lugia awkwardly withdrew their hands. Now I live alone in a villa near campus. More comfortable than ever. I plan to buy more Chanel bags to celebrate. Just as I left, I encountered Tina. Haggard, lifeless eyes emaciated. She held a knife, pointed at me and growled, "Selena, I won't let you live in peace. Give me the bag on your arm." I stepped back, moving my bag away from her and said, "Tina, don't do something foolish. Do you know what charges you'll face for robbery?" Desperate, she said, "I'm not afraid. I have nothing left. When you have nothing to lose, you fear no one." As she approached with the knife, several men rushed over and arrested her. One slapped her hard. Furious, he said, "Tina, right? You tricked us into designing dresses, then reported us to the police, causing our downfall. You forgot." It turned out they were the leaders of the counterfeit gang. They'd escaped before the fake workshop was busted but were still at large. Tina hastily pointed at me, shouting, "It's her. She designed it. She's the daughter of the two group. Arrest her and demand any ransom." I immediately explained, "Boss, do I look rich? Who wears 19 renminbi clothes from Pinduoduo? My bag is clearly a fake. All our classmates can only afford cheap fakes. She's the one who made us unable to buy quality counterfeits anymore. We live on Ren Road, a cramped, crowded place. How could I be rich? Look, the bag in her hand is the real one." The man examined the bag, nodded and said, "Your classmate is right. She's our regular customer. Because she reported us, our workshop was raided, money confiscated, and my brother imprisoned." They dragged Tina into the car. She panicked, begging, "Selena, save me. I don't want to die. Please save me." I coldly replied, "Saving you would be too lenient. But rest assured, I've called the police. They're on Run Road soon." Police arrived and arrested both Tina and the counterfeit gang leaders for armed robbery. Tina was sentenced to 12 years in prison under Article 263 of China's criminal law, which stipulates 10+ years for company/self personal property robbery. 12 years is enough for Tina, the master copycat, to learn to live right. The counterfeit gang leaders were also punished, and orders from my family's group surged. As for me, I studied in France and became a world-renowned designer.